Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 300. Wee popper thing, teet thing. You know, all the fun noisemaker things that I didn't bother going to, the dollar store to buy. Because episode 300 is just as notable as episode 281. It's an arbitrary number. It's round, but whatever. Does that mean I'm not doing anything special? It does not. Does that mean I am doing something special? Well, that's subjective. So I thought long and hard about it for a minute and a half. And my first thought was, there's been a positive response to the few Andrew in the Kitchen episodes I've done. Those weren't episodes of podcast. But I've had a few special streaming events where I streamed from my kitchen and made cookies or something. I made a cake once. I made French toast once, I think. Those seem to have gone over well. So I'm like, I'll celebrate my 300th episode by showing everyone how to make meatloaf. Because I make a pretty decent meatloaf. And then I thought, no, it's not really a podcasty thing, especially for any of my audio viewers. There is an audio version of this show that's on iTunes, so that wouldn't be very fun for anyone who listens to this show on iTunes. So I said, okay, let's not do that. Cafe Fox, hello. Silly Chicken, hello. Do I know when the Extra Life charity event is going to be this year? Yes. Let me get you the exact date on that. I think it's Saturday, November 5th. It'll usual time, noon to noon Pacific Standard Time. I believe it's Saturday, November 5th. Let me double check. No, page, please. Where's the page? Dashboard? Is that what I want? What do I want? Why am I not finding the date? I don't have the date written down. Darn it. And, well, Tabletop Appreciation Weekend is August 19th to the 21st, so that's nice. So that's getting in the way. Pretty sure it is November 5th. You can go to extralife.org. There's a hyphen, so extra-life.org/Andrew Eisen. I'm sorry, /participant/Andrew Eisen. That'll take you to my page. It's a placeholder for right now. I'm still working out the details, but if you want to bookmark it or keep an eye on it, you certainly can. Cooking with Andrew, yeah. So I decided instead of going to the kitchen or streaming from the kitchen and making meatloaf, I'll do show and tell, which is always appreciated, I'm sure. But to up the game for the 300th extra special episode, it's going to be a combo show and tell and public service announcement. You might learn something ever so slightly valuable that you maybe never thought of. Maybe. It's possible. I don't know. Or it may be, obvious, Andrew, everyone knows that. But, excuse me while I get my show and tell props. Da-da-da-da-da. Does everybody love show and tell? Alright. This is a banana. You know it. You love it. Unless you're one of those weird people who don't like bananas. which I assume you exist somewhere out there beneath the pale moonlight. Someone's thinking of me and loving me tonight. I'm so old, I saw An American Tail in the movie theater. So, it's summer, depending on where you are in the world. It's hot, depending on where you are in the world, but I imagine most of us are pretty hot and uncomfortable with our underwear sticking to our fannies because it's so hot and sweaty. So, I will teach you on this here 300th episode of Molehill Mountain how to make a frozen banana, which is a wonderful treat. You put it in the freezer. Yeah, that's it. But I'm going to teach you how to enjoy a frozen banana, which is not as immediately apparent. A frozen banana is not as user-friendly as an unfrozen banana. So, the first thing you do is you put it in your freezer. So we're going to put this in the freezer. Okay, there we go. Banana is in the freezer. And now we wait. How long? Overnight. I've never timed it exactly, but 12 hours should do it. So it's going to be a longer episode. $11 hours, 59 minutes to go. Okay, it's been 12 hours, so we now have our frozen banana. So, you can't just... well, you can, but that wouldn't be as enjoyable. So, what do? You get a cutting board. You put the banana on the cutting board. You get a knife. You adjust the camera so people can see what the hell you're doing. There we go. Okay, so cut it in half. Make sure you have a decently sharp knife. Cut banana in half. Throw this away, or just put it to the side. That's fine. Now, what you're going to want to do is stand this up so that there's the little space underneath. Stand it up like this. Put knife like this. See? Yep. Let me get my hand out of the way. Like this. But don't put your fingers under it because you don't want to chop the tips of your fingers off. So be very, very careful. Being very careful. Cut in half. There we go. That's perfect. Now all you do is hold the knife straight and push down flat in like little 1/2 inch. And what that will do is pull down both sides of the skin for you, which is really handy. Just like that. Now, you can just pull a piece out. And there you go. Well, and it's kind of like astronaut ice cream or something. But it's a as long as you don't chop your fingers off, which again, be very, very careful when cutting this. You want to hold it by the sides. Do not do that because you don't want to chop straight through to your fingers. It would be uncomfy. But as long as you prep the banana in advance, 12 hours to freeze or so, 12 or so hours to freeze, you've got a nice, pleasant, easy to eat frozen treat. Which will distract you from the fact that your underwear is plastered to your posterior. You know, for like 90 seconds out of your day. And what more can we ask? There we go. So, banana turned to ice cream, frozen banana, chocolate covered. I mean, if you had some chocolate, you could do that. Like that ice cream topping, you know, the chocolate syrup that hardens when it hits something cold and turns into a shell. That might be kind of fun. I hear Nutella is all the... One of these days I'm going to have to try... I should do an Andrew Tries Nutella, because I've never had that, and I know people rave about it. So there you go. My work here is done. Happy 300th episode of Molehill Mountain. Let me adjust my monitor here. And as I was telling Chicago, I've put in an order for... I've used your lovely patrons' money to buy a new camera. This is my work webcam, which, as you can tell, not good. So I bought a new one. Should be here Monday, so hopefully next week we'll have better image quality. Alright. Let's talk about Guilty Gear. An oddly named fighting game, but one that is very pretty to look at. I'm familiar with the characters and lore of the Street Fighter games, the Mortal Kombat games, but Guilty Gear, not so much. So, Guilty Gear is in its Whatever If game, and the second season of that Whatever If game. The Guilty Gear games are, especially the more modern ones, are marked by... They're 3D games, but they are shaded to look 2D, and they are genuinely gorgeous. I mean, they look really, really nice. I hope they're as fun to play as they are to look at. So announced this week is Bridget. Who's Bridget? I don't know. None with a yo-yo. Which... Cool. So, Arc System Works, the company behind the game, had a 5.5-minute gameplay video introducing Bridget and all the special moves. Just a full character breakdown video. 5.5 minutes long. And Bridget looks very, very cool. But one thing stuck out. And that was the fact that the narrator for the video was going absolutely out of their way to avoid using pronouns. It was really weird. So the entire 5.5 minutes of video is Bridget is a well-rounded fighter. Bridget throws Bridget's yo-yo at the enemy, and it does damage, and then returns to Bridget. It's really weird. And I'm not sure why they do that. Because I looked back at several of the previous character breakdown videos on their YouTube channel, and all of them happily used character pronouns. Even Tempest, Temperature, shoot. What's the character's name? Hang on a second. I should have written this one down, because I had it and then I forgot it. Arc System Works. Boop, boop. Alright, Arc System Works. What's that character's name? Theremin? Shoot. Hang on. I'll find it. I will totally find it. Testament. I knew it started with a T. Testament. Testament uses they-them pronouns. And that video uses they-them pronouns. So, Arc System Works is clearly comfortable using they-them, he, he, his, he, him, he, him, she, her. But when it comes to Bridget, our yo-yo throwing nun with a teddy bear, they were very, very conspicuous in avoiding using any pronouns. And maybe I know why. Maybe. So, at whatever Evo tournament or whatever, wherever all these announcements came out, because there were actually two videos. There was an announcement video where, which was like a minute and a half, and coming back is Bridget, and everyone goes, "Oh yay, I like that character, wee!" It's a returning character. And then there was the 5.5 minute character video. Doing a little bit of Google foo, I found a clip of about a 90-second in-game cutscene that they showed to the audience where they were premiering where they made the announcement. And at the end of the cutscene, Bridget comes out as trans, and her pronouns are she, her. Apparently this has been like a long time coming, because the Bridget character is coded female, long hair, wears a dress, specifically a nun outfit, has a very high feminine voice, but up until now apparently has used he, him pronouns. And so Bridget has just come out as trans and now uses she, her. Going back to the 90-second announcement video, she does say, "I bet you're transfixed by me now, huh?" Which went right over my head the first time, but when I watched it again, I was like, oh, transfixed. I get it. So my guess is they deliberately avoided using pronouns in the character overview video so as not to spoil the surprise. Which, okay. it's certainly a choice, but hooray for Bridget, the fictional character who is now comfortable with herself. So good on you, fictional character. I'm glad the other fictional characters are treating you nicely. That's good. But yeah, that was 5.5 minutes of Bridget throws Bridget's yo-yo, which returns to Bridget, is so awkward. But it is a pretty game. I have no idea if it's any fun. It's one of the fighting games that I'm just not familiar with. But it certainly is pretty. And overall, I like the aesthetic. I like the character design. So, hopefully it's as fun to play as it is to look at. So, there we go. More frozen banana. Maybe Bridget only speaks in the third person. Well, Bridget was not narrating her own video. It was some trailer voiceover dude. Bridget throws welcome to Guilty Gear Survive? What was it called? Strive. Welcome to Guilty Gear Strive. This is Bridget. Bridget is a well-balanced character. Bridget throws a yo-yo. Bridget also has other moves which Bridget uses to beat Bridget's opponents. And it's like, why are you... what are you doing, you weird trailer voice person? So, my guess is they were just trying not to, allowing Bridget to make the announcement herself, rather than outing her. Yeah, there you go. Arc System Works didn't want to out Bridget as trans until she was ready to come out herself. So, okay. That was really awkward, but hey, you know what? Very thoughtful of you, Arc System Works. So, anyway. Did they take it too far? I don't think so. I think it came off a little forced and goofy. But that's alright. I'm actually not sure what the tone of the game is supposed to be. I think outlandish and goofy appears to be kind of the feeling of the tone of the game, so should be fine. Anyway, probably not as awkward to anyone who's really followed the games. I just saw it's like, Bridget, new character in pretty fighting game. I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, this looks neat. Why are you avoiding pronoun usage? It's so weird. But that's my headcanon as to why they did it that way. So, let me go put this in the kitchen. Be right back. Watching the actual in-game cutscene. Writing doesn't seem to be the game's strong point, but I mean, this is like the 12th game in the series or something like that. I don't know who any of the characters are or how they've interacted before, so for Guilty Gear devotees, it might come off a lot stronger than it did to me, seeing a 90-second out of context clip with characters I don't know from Adam. But still, very pretty game. All right, what's next? So, believe it or not, I'm walking on air. Believe it or not, so anyone remember Ralph the American Hero theme song? Yeah. So, believe it or not, I am actually looking forward to a Star Wars show. I like Star Wars as a property. I don't like everything Star Wars. Some of the movies are good, some of them not. Some of the games are good, some of them not. Some of the books are good, some of them not. Some of the TV shows are good. Ish. Some of them are not. So Star Wars for me is a property I'm a fan of. It's something I'll probably always keep tabs on and keep up with. Though I haven't watched any of Clone Wars. Not true. I did see the very early ones before they were CG. So I think it was Gendy Tarakovsky? Shoot. Can't remember the dude's name. But the early ones that were 3-minute shorts, and I went, And then I think they moved to like 12 minutes, and they were still, And then went full CG, but it was on a channel that I didn't have access to, so I never saw any of them, and now it's like 8 seasons deep. Plus there's Resistance, plus there's another show, and I'm like, okay, at this point, I don't have time to catch up, so don't care. I hear it's a very uneven show, but when it's good, it's really good. Nevertheless, I've been keeping up with the live-action Star Wars stuff, and it's been mixed. Mandalorian, I thought, was solid. Mandalorian 2, I thought, was a little bit of a step down, but generally, it had some lower lows. I'd say the quality was the same, but it had lower lows. And then Book of Boba Fett, I thought, was bad. Not that it wasn't entertaining or had no value. Wasn't bored or anything. I just didn't think it worked. And then, what else? Oh, Obi-Wan Kenobi was fine. More liked what they were trying to do than what they did. I think the execution kind of failed in a lot of respects with that show. And then Star Wars, the anthology Visions, I think it was called. That one just left me cold. I really appreciate what they were doing, but man, none of the story. I didn't connect with any of the stories, which bums me out. So now they're making a. Also, I don't care about Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't want to see any more stories with characters that I've seen in multiple movies now. I am done. I'm done with that arc. Star Wars is bigger than these few people and these few places. It's a whole galaxy. Let's explore somewhere else. That's how I feel. So Andor is coming out next, and I'll be honest, I wasn't like, oh, this is a great idea, because I didn't really know exactly what they were doing with it. Andor's Gabriel Luna? Forget the actor's name, but who plays him in Rogue One, which I thought was bad. To be fair, it feels like a movie that was either... I mean, unless this movie just really was not thought through, like they had no script, it might have been a movie that was just butchered in post. Like, the creative team and the producers couldn't agree on stuff, and then stuff just got chopped and reshot and reshuffled and re-edited until it was just a mess. The movie is absolutely a mess. Not unwatchable. Not entertaining. My butt did not go numb once. I sat through it without a problem. But character motivations, if they're there, don't make sense. There's a ton of plot lines that are brought up and then just completely dropped. Stuff that's clearly, if you establish the gun on the mantelpiece, someone better be shot by Act 3, that old adage. They show a lot of guns in Rogue One, and they don't shoot them, so to speak. So it's a bad movie in that regard. But again, not to say it's not entertaining. That to say it's like, oh, the guy from that movie? I mean, I'm not excited to see a show revolving around him, but I'm not opposed to it either. So, a couple weeks ago, the new trailer for Andor premiered, and I was surprised by a couple things. Number one, Andor is barely in Andor, at least the marketing. And two, I'm actually genuinely excited to see this show. I'm really looking forward to it. Why? I think, well, partially it looks like an interesting, fun show. It's about the Empire, the bad guys, and the Resistance, the good guys who oppose the bad guys. And looks like a very spy thriller kind of show, and I dig it. But I think what I'm really most looking forward to is what is ostensibly not there. Apparently, at least according to the marketing so far, no Tatooine. I am so bloody sick of Tatooine. Tatooine was this garbage backwater planet that nobody ever wanted to live on or go to. And Star Wars insists on being there all the time, like it's the biggest hub in the universe. And it was never supposed to be that. Plus, I'm just absolutely sick of the location. So no Tatooine. That's great. Far as I can tell, no Jedi or lightsabers. I am done with Jedi and lightsabers. There's nothing more to do. First of all, the Jedi just suck. And two, I'm over lightsabers. Let's do something else. Interestingly, Rogue One doesn't have any Jedi and lightsabers until the very end of the movie. Solo did exactly the same thing, where Darth Maul shows up at the very end of the movie and ignites a lightsaber for absolutely no motivated reason other than maybe you don't recognize the character, but you recognize the double-ended lightsaber, don't you? Oh yeah, it's that guy. We're never going to revisit this because the movie didn't do very well. And Solo was okay. I'd be very interested to see what it was originally, though. And there's no Skywalkers, no Kenobis, no Solos, no Fets. You might say, but there's an Andor and we've already seen him. Yeah, but he didn't leave much of an impression. He's only in one movie. And he's the co-lead of that movie. And he doesn't seem to be like the biggest presence of it's like, what's his name, Stellan Skarsgård. He seems to be a much bigger character than Andor. So what I mean by that is it appears to be Star Wars, but something new, something we haven't seen before. It's not focusing on the same characters in the same place doing the same things. I mean, broadly flying ships and shooting lasers at each other, but yeah, Andor. I am genuinely actually looking forward to seeing the show, so yay. Gabriel Luna is Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Shoot. So, Andor is played by Frank Luna? Help me, IMDb, you're my only hope. Diego Luna. Fudge sickles. Okay, wrong Luna. I always get the names mixed up because they have the same last name. Are they related? Because there can only be one Luna family, you know. They must be related. But they're going to miss out on an LGBTQ Jedi with a rainbow-colored lightsaber blade. Multicolored lightsaber? That would be a bit on the nose, but, you know, okay. Star Trek Lower Decks, haven't seen it, so never been huge into Star Trek. I've seen most of the movies. I saw all 6 of the originals. I saw Generations. I saw First Contact. Did I see any of the others? No, I don't think I saw any of the further Next Generation films. What were the other ones? Insurrection was one of them. I don't think I saw that. Yeah, I think I've seen the 6 original trilogy, Generations, and then First Contact. I think that's all I've seen of the movies. And I've enjoyed some of them. Yeah, Star Trek's just never been that big of an interest of mine. I've never disliked Star Trek. It's just never called to me. But yeah, haven't seen Lower Decks. But having more queer characters in Star Wars, good. Giving them rainbow lightsabers, that feels cloying. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. Lower Decks doesn't focus on bridge officer. Well, the name kind of implies that. Yeah, I'm familiar with the focus of Lower Decks, and that actually does sound interesting. Plus, it's a cartoon, and I like cartoons, so saw 2 episodes, didn't really like it. That's a shame. I heard that Lower Decks, which is a cartoon, is crossing over with New Horizons or whatever the one of the new live action one is, which is interesting. So the rainbow lightsaber was a joke. I thought it was, but yeah, I think I think more queer more representation in general is always welcome. But yeah, rainbow lightsaber would seem to be, and I know that was just being a joke, but I could totally see a company who, as most companies do, is just doing what's profitable. And luckily, in this case, what is correct and good is generally seen as profitable. But, when it's kind of like companies who are really just out to monetize LGBTQIA plus stuff. Like, they're like, oh, goody June, we get to stamp a rainbow flag on stuff and sell it and then not do anything for the rest of the year and continue giving money to people who are abusive towards that community. It's like, something feels a mite disingenuous here. So yeah, Andor, looking forward to it. Let's see what else. I Am Groot. And I messed up the R roll. Not very good at rolling R's. So I saw I Am Groot. And it's okay. Baymax was better. Baymax was actually really good. I was pleasantly surprised by that show. I thought Baymax was quite good. God, this camera's so terrible. Baymax was great. I Am Groot is okay. You can watch through it, but depending on whether you watch credits or not, it'll take you 15-20 minutes to watch all 5 of them. For some reason, all 5 episodes of I Am Groot are given their own page, rather than there just being one I Am Groot page with 5 episodes. Odd choice on Disney Plus's part. But need to see I recommend it. It's actually genuinely funny and quite sweet. Character with the rainbow lightsaber fights a Sith. Camera zooms in on their face as they say, "Evil Sith, taste the rainbow." Okay, that's actually pretty funny. Or maybe it's a what's the name of the glaive from it's a fantasy movie from the 80s. Shoot. I'll think of it. I'll bolt up awake in the middle of the night. So a multi-pronged weapon. So instead of a double-ended lightsaber, you have like a 7-sided disc thing. The glaive from, what is the name of that goddamn fantasy movie? And a different colored blade comes out at each end. Kind of like the spinny ones that they had in Obi-Wan Kenobi. That Reva and the Inquisitors, that's what they were. They had the double-bladed thingy with the circle, and it spun around. You have 7 blades, and they're all different colors. There you go. That'd be fun. Crawl! Very good, Cafe Fox. That's exactly what a crawl. Thank you. God damn it, that's something that I would have shot awake at like 3 in the morning. Crawl, that's what it was. Not a good movie. No. No, it's not good, but it is kind of awesome in some respects. So I've been rewatching Gargoyles. Groot series is Gargoyles is we don't talk about the Goliath Chronicles, but that was a strong show. That was a really good show. So I Am Groot is okay. I mean, the episodes are only like 3, maybe 4 minutes long. So it's not really enough time to do anything. By contrast, the Baymax ones I think are like 10 to 12 minutes. If I'm remembering right, they're longer at least. Enough time to set something up and then resolve it. I Am Groot is just really quick, inconsequential, fluffy, forgettable, but it's, again, you can get through all of them in 15 minutes. So if you like Groot, if you think he's cute, there's no lore. Maybe something will be called back to in one of the future Marvel movies, so you have to watch it. No, you don't. I also watched the Lego Star Wars summer vacation. And man, these Lego Star Wars specials have been lacking. Yeah. Let me, I think the first one was okay, and then the rest of them have just been kind of not. Let me... Lego Star Wars. Let's see. Okay, so there was the holiday special, the Lego Star Wars holiday special, which was okay. It was cute. Then there was the Lego Star Wars Terrifying Tales, which was the Halloween special, which was not very good. And then the summer vacation one, again, just not very good. And they're kind of structuring them around little vignettes, which is probably a fine way to do it, but they're just not that fun or funny. And they're like 45, 50 minutes long. They're like really lengthy for what probably should only be like 20 minutes. I think they should really cut these down because they're spread really thin. The design works. I like the Lego Star Wars aesthetic. I like the general tone and sense of humor it has, but the stories aren't interesting. The characters aren't. They're more caricatures of the characters you know and love, which for Lego is fine. That's what it is, but so you're not connecting with the characters. You're not really invested in anything that's happening. And worst of all, most of the jokes don't really land, at least for me. So, yeah, the Lego Star Wars stuff has so far been swings and misses, which is unfortunate because I've long been a fan of the Lego Star Wars games. So, you know, I was hoping that the specials would be good, but yeah, so far they've not done it for me. So, did you know that Netflix has games? I mean, other than choose-your-own-adventure shows like the Bandersnatch or whatever it was called. I mean, apparently Netflix has games, like video games, that you could play. Did you know that? I'm guessing most people don't, because Netflix has like 220 million subscribers, but apparently only had like 1 million and change like downloading their games. And I read this article about how Netflix's games aren't really doing that great, or at the very least aren't that popular. And I thought to myself, I wouldn't know where the hell to go to play Netflix games even if I wanted to. I went to the Netflix app. I don't see a games section. I'm like, are they games you play on your TV? Is it on the Netflix website? Are they like browser games? Well, so I went to help.netflix.com, specifically node 121442, which is all about Netflix games. About Netflix games. Netflix games can be downloaded and played on mobile devices. Okay. So that's what Netflix games is. It's just they're mobile games. Okay. That's why. At least I'm not interested, because I have no interest in mobile games. Not where I want to play video games. That's not to say you're wrong for liking mobile games. I just don't. I have no interest in mobile games. No ads, no extra fees, no in-app purchases, unlimited access to exclusive mobile games. Included. So if you have a membership to Netflix, there is a portal or a curated collection of games that you can download individually and play. As I understand it, it's not a Netflix games app that you download. It's you just download any of the Netflix branded games that you want. And I went through the list, and some of these are games that have been out for a while, so it's not like Netflix is making their own game. They're just licensing them. Some of them are apparently very good mobile games. Yeah, Chicago, yeah, it says, I had heard Netflix had games, didn't even care to look for them. Yeah, I didn't either. But it was when I started seeing that no one really seems to care about them. I'm like, and I thought to myself, I wouldn't even know where to look. So I just went to Netflix's site to look, and Chicago goes on, oh, they're mobile games? No, thank you. I'm even less interested. Yeah, that was my thought, too. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, don't care. Let's see. Does this have a link to... available games, there we go. Arcanium, Rise of a Khan, Extreme Asphalt, Before Your Eyes, Bowling Ballers, Card Blast, Domino's Cafe, Dungeon Dwarves, Dragon Up, Exploding Kittens. That's that oatmeal game, isn't it? Into the Breach. That's been out for years. I mean, it's a great game for what I understand, but Into the Breach has been out for quite a long time. Mahjong Solitaire. Relic Hunters? Isn't that free-to-play one that was on the Wii U for a little while? No, it doesn't look like it. What was that called? Stranger Things. Oh, so they've got some Stranger Things tie-in games. That makes sense. Wonder Putt Forever. Please tell me that's a golf game. It is. That's a nice name. So I read some articles about this, and the Netflix CEO of games, whoever it is, was saying, yeah, we are keeping games kind of on the down low so that only the really hip people know about them, because we don't want them to get too popular right now, you see. Because his strategy, apparently, is to work out all the kinks of the game's service before they really invest in a big marketing push, which, might not be a bad strategy. You want to make sure that the service is perfect before you really heartily ring the dinner bell, so to speak. But I don't know. It's it seems to me that, like, maybe marketing it as an additional perk, like, subscribe to Netflix and get access to all these neat mobile games. With your Netflix subscription also allows you access to dozens, currently like 24, nifty mobile games. That might be an interesting incentive for people who aren't currently signed up to Netflix to sign up for Netflix, rather than Netflix is making games. Because I think most people are like, why? Are they on the Switch or something? I mean, they're gonna look on their service on the TV and go, I don't get it. What do you mean you do games? That doesn't make any sense. How would you do games? Am I supposed to play them with my TV remote or something? Yeah, I think they're going about the marketing strategy that Netflix now has games, because most people, I think that's going to be just confusing. It's like, well, how would that even work? What are you talking about? I think dozens of free mobile games with every Netflix subscription. Oh, neat, fun perk. I was thinking about joining Netflix, and now I get shows and also a couple neat mobile games for when I'm somewhere where I'd want to play them, which for me is literally nowhere, but Chicago says, keeping the games on the down low. Are they trying to use reverse psychology to get people interested? Yeah, we have games, but you wouldn't be interested in that. No, we've got games, but you wouldn't want to play them. Yeah, you wouldn't be interested. Maybe that is what it is. So, that's it for me tonight. I've run out of things to talk about. So, I'm considering doing a. Normally, I'd go back to Trails in the Sky the Third tomorrow, but I'm considering doing another non-Trails game tomorrow. I don't know, just kind of in the mood for something else. Don't know what. We may play Trails tomorrow. Don't know yet. Haven't decided. Might decide early in the morning. Have no idea. But if we don't play Trails tomorrow, we'll play something, but it may or may not be Trails. We will be going back to Trails, but I may play something else tomorrow anyway. I did finish Stray, the kitty game, and it was... it's fine. It's fun. I had talked about, at the end of the stream last week when I played Stray, I had said I thought they could do a better job linking in the kitty actions into actual gameplay. And they did some of it. Like, you can knock things off a shelf, and there's like a thing where you knock a thing off of a shelf so it will land in a spinning fan and stop the blade so you can get through. You can just scratch different surfaces, and you use that to open a pull down. What's that called? Sunshade curtain? No. What is that called? You know what I'm talking about, where you have a thing in the window, a window covering that rolls up onto itself. Well, anyway, the cat scratches it and gets it out of the way. Later in the game, there's a stealth section. You do find a box at some point in the game. The cat can just jump in the box, and that's cute. And there is a stealth section later in the game where you jump in a box, and you need to get into a building by jumping in a box and have a robot, carry you into the building. So it does some more. I think it still could have incorporated more of the cat actions into actual puzzle gameplay. Blinds, Roman shade. I guess it is a shade. Window shade. I guess that's right. Window shade sounds right. Like, what is actually the name of that? So anyway, it's a not a terribly long game, but it's 8, maybe 9 hours the way I play these things, because I just wander around and scratch everything and rub up on everyone's feet. And you can actually trip a couple of robots, which is funny. I think they could have done a little bit more with it, but yeah, it was cute. I enjoyed it. So good job, Annapurna, I think, because I keep wanting to say Annapurina for some reason. I don't know why, because that's not what the company's name is. Anyway, so that's it for tonight. Yay, 300th episode. Thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again tomorrow for the Sunday stream, noon Pacific Standard Time, for whatever the heck we're playing. There's no laser pointers in the game. You'd think they'd, like you're fighting a boss, and the boss uses a laser pointer, and it distracts you or something. Yeah, that's not in there. I love randomly coming out of an alley and tripping a robot and then meowing in his face before trotting off. Yeah, there's some good stuff. I think they could have played up more of the fact that this is a cat, and all the I'm not sure the robots really recognize it as a cat. Late in the game, some are like, "You are a cat," because they treat it like just some weird quadrupedal animal. I thought it would be funny. I made a prediction about one character in the game. I was completely right about it. And I think it would be funnier, like, let's say that a character sacrifices themselves, and there's a couple who do. I think it'd be funnier if they give their big speech, go on, and the cat's just sitting there licking its groin or something like that. I think that would be... They could have played up more into, this is actually just a cat. This cat is not working to free the robots and bring them to the surface. It's just a cat. It's like all this stuff is like incidental. It's what the robots are reading onto this animal, and it's just a cat. It does not care about anything. It's not doing anything on. I think they could have leaned into that more, and there's touches of that, but I think that it would have been stronger by leaning into that element. I think that would have been really funny. Scav Tunes, you joined just in time for the podcast to end. Sorry about that. But if you want to join me tomorrow, noon Pacific Standard Time, we'll be playing some video games on the Sunday stream. So and that goes for the rest of you too. Hope to see you then. But until then, eat vegetables, brush teeth, get a full 8 hours, all that good stuff. Wash behind your ears. Important. Lots of people have died from dirt behind the ears, don't you know? Alright. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.